How you doing? I got the CZ75 here. Fantastic pistol. In its own right, it's amazing, but it's also got a few tricks up its sleeve. So stick around, we'll show you. Welcome back to Shooter the Series. My name is Ed Thorell from Firearms Education and Training, and today we're going to have a little chat about the CZ75. Before we do though, just like always, let's make sure we're clear and safe. We can have a conversation, no big surprises. So anyway, this is CZ75, 9mm, manufactured in Czechoslovakia. Started production in 1975, and at the time that was all part of the Soviet Union. Until the wall came down in the 90s, these were unavailable in America, and in the past decade they've really overtaken the market and become very, very desirable. In fact, they can be kind of hard to find, and a lot of people have to go onto a waiting list to get one. Comes with a lot of cool features that I really, really like. And so we want to go over some of those features with you. Starting directly from the top, you're going to notice this little silver thing on the top peeking out. What that is, that's a chambered round indicator. And if you have a round in the chamber, that's going to pop up. And since it's not loaded, it's going to be recessed. But if it were popping out, you'd be able to run your finger over that in the middle of the night. Even in the dark, you'll be able to know whether or not you've got a round in the chamber. So that's a really, really cool feature. Now, other features are, you're going to see this is your slide release, your slide lock. It's also an oversized control, so there's not going to be any fumbling. Oversized controls are nice because you don't have to look to find them. You can find them by feel. Another great feature is that this comes with a decocker. Because this is a double action conventional pistol, the trigger works in two modes. And right now, the trigger is in the rear position. It only has about 3.5 pounds pressure, and the hammer is back, so it's ready to fire. Now, you can de-escalate the gun by pushing the decocker down, and mechanically a safety bar comes up between the hammer and the firing pin, so mechanically it will not fire. And that makes it very, very handy if you are going to carry this during the day. You would lock and load the pistol, but you wouldn't want to carry it just like this. You'd want to make it so a little bit safer and return it to a standard double action. And rather than trying to maneuver and manipulate this with your fingers, coordinating with the trigger, you can just use the decocker to safely do it, drop the hammer, and not have to worry about any unfortunate surprises. So the CZ also comes with rubberized grips, which I really like. It's a very dependable, very rugged pistol. It's all metal. This particular version is known as the PCR. PCR stands for Police Czech Republic. And this happens to be the most popular police pistol all across Europe. It's also been adopted by NATO. This has got a really good track record for dependability, and NATO ran tests with them. And out of 15,000 rounds fired, it only had 8 malfunctions. And that's just a fraction. A minor fraction. So because of that, it's very, very dependable. It's all made out of metal, so it's very controllable. Some of the other features it has is, if you notice, is when you look at the slide, you're going to notice that the slide is cut to go inside the frame. And when you look at most conventional pistols, you're going to notice the complete opposite. The slide is cut to go outside the frame. What this allows the CZ to do, and what makes the CZ a game changer, is with this particular design, it allows you to actually bury the barrel further down in the frame. And that gives you a big advantage, because the higher the barrel is, or what's known as the bore axis, the more leverage the gun has against you in recoil, meaning you're going to have more felt recoil and more muzzle flip the higher the barrel is in the gun. So the CZ gets a reputation for being a very fast and a very flat shooting gun, because a lot of the recoil is diminished just because of that design, and it's definitely a game changer. In America, most of the competitors have gone to the CZ because it allows them to shave seconds off their time, because it is such a fast shooting gun. Now, the CZ has a lot of great qualities going for it. dependability, it's rugged, it's also fun to shoot. But one of the things it also has, which you can get with a lot of other manufacturers, is we can switch this out and turn it into a 22 with a conversion kit. And it's not terribly difficult to do that. It might be kind of hard to see, but there's a couple of timing marks right back here on the frame. And the trick to getting the CZ apart is you line up those two little timing marks, just like so, and then you push the slide release pin through. Sometimes it's tight, needs a little help. Pin comes out, slide goes forward. You take the 22 slide, which is also known as the Cadet, the CZ22 Cadet, you line it back up. You take the slide release, which is specially designed for the 22, and you basically just return it in through the pistol. Push it through, slide it in, pretty much that easy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my ears on, put a couple rounds through it, just so you can see how it all works. We have our magazine, we slide it in, rack the slide, that's it. All right, there you go. That's the CZ 22 Cadet 22 caliber conversion kit for the CZ75. It's a great way to bring younger shooters into the sport, but it's a great way even for experienced shooters to train. And basically 22s are about a quarter of the cost of a standard 9mm. So you get about 4 times the trigger time, and that's a great value. Anyway, that concludes our test and evaluation of the CZ75. And until next time, thanks for joining us on Shooter. You can see all of our social media down on the lower part of the page. Thanks for joining us.